And here we go. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bourbon Note. I'm Greg.
I'm Ben.
And today we're live. And we're going to probably drink some bourbon. Oh, Ben,
right.
In actuality, I think you get a little bit of a pass. It's been a while since we've done one of these live streams.
Yeah, I forgot to put us on the stage there. So anyway, yes, you're right. I looked it up. The last 2 weeks we haven't been here because I haven't been here.
Yep.
Been on vacation. And then the 2 weeks before that, I did solo streams because you had Ebola or something.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's been a month since we have done a live stream together. So you're welcome, world. We stayed away for a month, but now...
That's right. We're back.
Like herpes. Already getting into that. All right, who do we have in the chat? We've got Shredward, Peter White.
We got Peter White.
Jeff, is that cast with an exclamation point or castle? Good evening, Bourbon. Well, good evening to you, Jeff. Steve Joes is in the house.
Steve.
JT
Jeff
is here. What's up, JT?
Peter White's here. Sugar Kitty.
Sugar Kitty is here. I'm just going to let that whole thing play. Because every time I try to cut it off, it sounds awkward. I always miss the mark.
Huh. Well,
Brian is here.
Brian's here from the Bourbon School.
Yeah, Mikey Likey Whiskey.
Sugar Kitty here again. Mikey is here. Sugar Kitty again. Sugar Kitty again.
Watching from the new digs. JT, did you get a new place? That sounds...
new digs.
That sounds
His
awesome.
new digs or your new digs? Because you don't have new digs.
I don't have... No, these are the only digs I have.
Yeah.
Steve Joes, I was actually just in your neck of the woods. So you'll probably see a Long Beach, California bourbon hunting video coming up at some point. And if I had been there for longer than I literally was actually just went out to the store to buy some sunglasses before we got on the cruise. And I was like, well, while I'm here, I might as well get a... You know, it was a grocery store, so of course they had bourbon.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Steve Joes, when you see that, if I had had more time, I definitely would have...
Well, Long Beach would be a tad bit of a hike for him.
Yeah, that's true.
He would have had to have, you know...
If I had more time, I would have sent you a text. We could have gone out and done some bourbon hunting together.
Yeah.
Plus, you know, if we get to California, it's me, my wife, and her parents. If we get there and I immediately bail out to go do bourbon stuff on day one of the vacation,
yeah, right.
I don't think that's probably a good move. I wouldn't like it if she did it. So
Fair enough.
So, yeah, anyway. All right, who else do we have in
Well, then
here?
it becomes a business trip and a write-off and all that good stuff.
Oh, trust me, I'm writing all of it off.
Speaking of writing off, it was tax week this week. How was that? That was miserable.
I do my taxes as quickly as I possibly can. As soon as I get all my paperwork, I do them immediately.
Well, so I did them several months ago, and then they just sit there and wait because I have to write a really big check, and I'm not going to write that before I have to.
Oh, sure,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Let's see, Casey Richard Meyer.
Well, yeah,
That's a new name in the chat. I think joining from Facebook, if I'm correct. It's got the little Facebook emblem.
Wow.
We can't see the Facebook stuff here, so
Yeah.
I think that's how it works. Yeah, the women tend to frown on that, Ben. Again, like I said, I wouldn't like it if she did it either. So, Interested to see if you found anything in Long Beach. He said it's only 15 minutes away from where he's at.
Well, it's a long beach though, Ben.
It is a very long beach, yeah, hence the name. So, we've got some samples tonight, and I hope he jumps in the chat here because we've got some samples from non-bike riding Dave Vogelsang.
Yeah, it'd be awesome for him to jump in. But, so you were telling me, and you've not told me what all these are, but some of these are weird, meaning it's stuff we don't see in Minnesota. Sometimes we've not even heard of them.
Yeah, and I don't know if some of these are like smaller, smaller distilleries, stuff like that.
So do you want to like read a couple of the names for? Because there's some people here who are bourbon nerds who may be interested in some of this.
Yeah, so these are like we've got a bunch of them. We probably won't get to all of these. He sent a ton of samples. Some of them we're saving to just do proper standalone reviews of, and then some of these ones that are a little more. They might be a little more of a niche.
Sure.
Is that the right word? Niche.
Well, it's the word you chose.
Okay.
Yeah.
That maybe I don't know if a standalone review is warranted, but certainly looking forward to the experience because some of these sound amazing. So I told Greg before we went on, he hasn't seen any of these yet.
Right.
That there's one that I'm definitely looking forward to getting into here, because just based on the stats here, it sounds pretty wild.
Okay.
There is no proof on here though.
You can't proof that.
So I. Where's. Okay, so this is called Dark Arts. I don't know anything about Dark Arts.
I too know nothing about the Dark Arts.
This is a 7-year aged rye whiskey finished in maple syrup barrels with toasted Amburana staves.
Holy wow.
Yeah, so I think we start there.
Okay, well,
All right.
yeah, that's going to be...
And this is going to ruin all the other
That's the
samples
dessert
for the
one for tonight,
God.
for sure. But
You can tell it's been a couple weeks since I've done this. My back is already just destroyed.
I think I'm going to do a very small pour of this because I'm worried it's going to be so rich that it's probably going to taste great, but like...
I think water in between these is not going to cut it. We're going to have to drink like Heaven Hill White Label for Traveler.
A bowl of Cheerios.
Yeah. So again, I have no idea what the proof point is on this.
If anybody's ever heard...
Dessert first, Steve Jones. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going fairly small pour. It could be great. I actually suspect it is going to be really great, but I'm reluctant to... I did a very small
just
pour.
a little bit more.
Okay.
Just a tad. And who knows, maybe we will end up, we're not going to drink all of the sample tonight, so whatever we have left over, we could do a standalone review.
I did a very light pour.
Okay.
But
let's get into the nose. Wow. It's interesting. The nose reminds me a lot of that barrel Amburana.
yeah,
But I didn't get the full cinnamon on
Has
it.
that one been out yet? So we just did a review of
Yeah. Oh,
Barrel
I forgot to tell you,
Spirits.
the Traveler review is up for Patreon. So after the live stream tonight for our Patreon supporters, the tomorrow's video is
the
Traveler
unicorn
from
that
Buffalo
everybody
Trace.
needs to go out and spend way more than they're charging. When they only charge 40, give them 50.
Yeah. Buy it on the secondary if you can. Oh, man, that's just so rich.
I'm getting a little bit of the Amburana. I can see that.
Yeah. But I'm
So-
not getting as much cinnamon. Like on the barrel one, I
I'm
didn't get
getting
as much
cinnamon.
cinnamon, but
So I'm getting a tad
it's a little
maple.
bit.
I'm going for it.
All right. Cheers, everybody. It's good to be back live with you guys.
Tastes exactly like I thought it would.
Oh, my God.
It tastes like an Amburana finished rye that has been finished in maple. No, I'm not. That's not actually a joke. It tastes like the label. It's
Well, did you taste the label?
no, it tastes like it's
Bam. That was a Greg joke.
That was good. That was a pretty good joke. However, it tastes like the description. It really does. And the description is great, and it tastes great. And I was 100% correct when I said it's an occasional use type bourbon or rye. It's rye, not a bourbon. Yeah, if you did a solid 2-ounce pour of this,
Oh,
like,
yeah. It
may-
might get to be too much.
you may go into cardiac arrest. Like I don't like.
Yeah, the nose is really interesting on this.
It's really good.
I've never had a maple syrup barrel whiskey, and those are starting to be. That might be like the next thing.
Yeah, well, we've done cognac, and now Amburana.
Cognac and Armagnac for all the cigar blend, and now Amburana or whatever has got its day in the sun, and so maybe maple syrup.
Well, and also rum. Don't forget rum. And the rum ones worked out really well, especially the ryes. A well-aged rye and rum
Oh man,
cask.
that's really good.
It is really good.
There's something in there that almost tastes like a little bit like a peanut butter and honey sandwich.
Oh, that's crazy talk.
Yeah, it's chunky peanut butter and honey.
Are you one of those people that makes a difference?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I very strongly agree with one of those points of view and not the other.
Which one?
I like the creamy peanut butter.
Really?
I do.
Oh, see, I'm crunchy peanut butter. So, all right, let's get into snack food right off the bat. Just kick the bourbon out. Crunchy versus smooth peanut butter. Folks, this is the important stuff. Let us know in the chat exactly what your your thoughts are. By the way, Steve Jones, I did find some stuff at that
Grocery store?
at Vaughn's. Spoiler alert. I mean, they had like a Blanton's for $75 just on the shelf. They had Eagle $75 if you're part of the club. I think
Mikey's on the right side of history.
creamy all.
That's what she said.
Jill is here. Creamy peanut butter all the way. Okay, so I am creamy without it. Good Lord, I'm just getting killed here.
Yeah.
All right. Great. Brian, creamy, 100%.
Everybody. So there is a brand. I think it. I don't want to misstate. So there's a brand. I buy.
Casey Meyer. Sorry to interrupt. That's a new name in the chat.
No, I'm sure Casey's had that name for a while.
Oh my God. Every time. Welcome, Casey.
So there's a brand that's available at the local Target that it's creamy peanut butter that they have honey mixed in with it. It's pretty amazing.
You know, they have one of those with jelly mixed in it too.
No,
The
you
Goober grape.
can't be telling the truth. You're making that up.
Everybody loves Goober grape. Jeff Castle, creamy.
See?
Casey says thanks, guys. Well, thank you, Casey, for being here. That's awesome. See, everyone, remember to lick the like and like the lick.
That's what she said.
So I'm just dumbfounded by this. I didn't realize that everybody was on Team Creamy, which, by the way, is going to be a series. Greg and I are sponsoring a baseball team sponsored by the Bourbon Notes called Team Creamy, and you're all invited to be a part of it. Team Creamy is going to be a thing.
You know, we really shouldn't have our business meetings on the live internet.
Yeah, absolutely. These are our business meetings. It's the only time we ever come up with ideas.
Yeah, that's right. But, okay, for those new in the chat, we do spend a fair amount of time talking about bourbon, like we have to. But we also talk a lot about snack foods. And
Usually not until the end of the live stream. It just goes off the rail.
Yeah, but we're out of practice.
Show me the proof. Welcome to the show. Creamy with apricot preserves.
Wow.
Boy, I'm not with you on the apricots.
Yeah, so apricot's probably not my top 42, but maybe after that.
Sugar Kitty says dark art is now confusing as both Scotch and bourbon brands. Weird. Okay.
Really?
That was amazing. Huh. And I did notice as I drank my way through that, it kind of leveled out a little bit where the flavors were there in bold, but that initial wave of sweetness, it kind of leveled out to where I think a decent sized pour I could do.
Okay.
Where it wasn't quite as overwhelming as I thought it was going to be after that first sip. Okay, let's clean the glasses out here.
All right, Brian.
Cream raspberry preserves, seedless. So he likes his raspberries creamy too, no seeds.
Yeah, Brian and I,
Like it creamy?
Well, I guess, Brian, it depends on now we got to talk about bread. Are you one of those white bread or whole grain?
I think for a peanut butter sandwich, you go old school white bread. You know, like just a good Wonder Bread, like back in. Hey, let me ask you a question. For those of you, if any of you like grew up in the 80s and 90s, maybe as a kid in the 80s and 90s.
You know, there was this thing called the 70s, right?
Well, right. Well, maybe in the 70s. I'm just going, I grew up in the 80s and the 90s. So I saw a meme the other day, and it was Taylor's Bourbon Challenge. What's happening? And it was, somebody had sent the thing that, did your mom, or like whenever you get a bag lunch, if she sent a can of pop with you, or soda, as the rest of the country calls it?
Soda.
And wrap it in tinfoil?
Absolutely was in tinfoil.
Yeah,
that was the insulation.
And they just dead ass thought that was going to keep it cold, which it absolutely did not ever. Like what?
But yeah, everybody has.
Why did we all believe that for so long?
But yeah, that was a thing. Everyone had a Pepsi wrapped in
foil. Yeah,
foil.
see? Absolutely. Everybody had that, yeah.
What is the R value of tinfoil?
The R value?
Yeah, it's an insulation coefficient thing.
Oh, okay. Well, apparently not much.
Yeah.
Because it never kept anything.
Something close to zero.
You'd think one of us would have gone home to our parents and just said, this is not working out. You can just leave the tin foil.
It didn't matter. The fact that you were able to take a Pepsi to school,
yeah,
that's all that mattered.
That was awesome, yeah. All right, so here's some more of these samples. Man, I hope Dave shows up.
Okay, so I have another question about soda. I'll be brief with this one.
Okay, well, just in case, hold on a second, just in case Dave watches this on the replay, we do have, bam, the non-bike riding Dave Vogel saying logo.
Okay.
Which I'm asking you to make a t-shirt out of this. I just want this on a t-shirt and it just says Dave. If
hilarious.
You know, you know.
Yeah, okay, so go back to the comments because I'm going to ask a question.
Okay.
Okay, so for some of you that are maybe not super young, you used to be able to buy sodas and they were, I think, 6 ounces.
Okay.
But they weren't little cans, they were short cans. It was the same like diameter, but only half as tall.
So it's just all girth.
I don't know if anybody else remembers that, but you could buy a Coke or a Pepsi.
Or wait, no, okay, so it was the same diameter. It was the same girth.
Yes.
but it was just shorter.
Just shorter.
I thought I got it confused, like it was like the same amount, like it's still a 12 ounce, but shorter and just wider.
No, yeah, so
That'd be hilarious if a brand released that just for like April Fool's Day or something.
that would be hilarious. But yeah, so they were short, where you can now buy the little ones. They're 6 or 8 ounces.
Yep.
But they're just like shrunk down.
Yeah. They're to scale almost.
yeah,
They're
right.
maybe a little taller. But.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But maybe I'm the only one that remembers them.
if anybody knows anything about these whiskeys, now this is Kings County Distillery, and I do know that Kings County makes those, those ones, they look just like medicine bottles and they have a plain white label on them. But I did look this one up. It's called Lost Lantern Brooklyn Bakery, Kings County
This is
Distillery.
New York, right?
Yeah,
So we would expect Brian to be the...
yeah. Hanging AZ, what's wrong with bikes? Well, ask Dave. He's the one who refuses to ride them.
That's right.
I love that we did this to Dave.
He's anti-bike.
So it's okay. So Lost Lantern, Brooklyn Bakery, Kings County Distillery, 2023 edition, 133 proof.
Wow.
So that one's a banger.
I'd like to try that.
Go back quite a ways, and I don't remember those types of cans.
Huh.
Maybe it was just your area.
Yeah,
What part of the world were you living at this point?
That was California. I mean, so like all of my like school, like I went to like kindergarten to high school in California.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Northern California, Sacramento area. That's why I want to know if anybody's from Sacramento.
You're
I may
starting
know
to
them.
fall behind the Dave logo.
I'm behind the Dave logo.
Yeah, there you go.
Dave's not a very good rider. He's all over the place.
So this next one is Bull Run American Whiskey, age 15 years, bourbon van pick. Okay, cool. I like the bourbon van.
Okay.
So
15 years.
that's cool. I want to get into that
Do we
for
know
sure. We should
proof?
do a 116.3.
Wow, that should be really good. It looks really light in the bottle. That's why it's kind of surprising.
Yeah. Well, we should do a review of this as well,
Okay.
just because it's another channel. So just review another channel's bourbon, So let's set that one aside. We'll do a standalone review of that one. And then
Are you making that up, or they really actually called that Chodes?
called them Pepsi Chodes? Instead of OV splits, they called them Pepsi Chodes. I don't know if that's.
Yeah.
It is Brian we're dealing with. Here.
Maybe it was a Pepsi only. Yeah, I can't remember. I don't know. It was a long time ago.
Oh, I remember those things now. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Because the
six-pack ring.
Yeah, the 6-pack ring. They use the same 6-pack ring
Yes,
on
I
them.
was just going to say, I remember them coming in the little 6-packs.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I totally remember those now.
Yeah.
There's an Asian grocery store in the 90s that had an energy drink in those short cans. It was basically Red Bull before it was a thing. Nice.
Wow.
You should look up what a chode is. Yeah, we know. Okay, so this one is River Roots Barrel Company, The Guardian. 9 years old, bourbon whiskey, 114.79 proof.
Are we gonna try one of these? Like,
Yeah,
this
we
is
just gotta
actually
figure.
like a.
I'm waiting for somebody to tell me what any of this stuff is and recommend if we should.
Okay.
I'm interested in this Lost Land, but that's 133,
Yeah.
so let's wait on that
Let's
one.
give that one a little bit of time to.
Master Pick. It says P-I-C-K-E. Piquet. Or is it supposed to be Master Picker? And it missed the R. Age 15 years, American whiskey. Barrel number 2 of 419.3 proof. That sounds interesting.
Okay.
American whiskey.
But
so
it's
I
an
don't know if
American
that's like
whiskey.
could be a single malt, could be a blend, Hard Truth, Sweet Mash,
I
4
think
grain.
Hangin is trying to make a joke there, and I wonder if anyone else is gonna get it.
What?
That's...
You forgot your... Okay, no. Howdy, biking bourbon, what's up? Am I allowed in this live today? No biking. I suppose it probably did look weird for biking bourbon.
Yeah, you should probably explain.
No, you're welcome here. We're just doing samples from non-bike riding Dave Vogelsang, so...
That seems to be his name. Yeah, he's anti-bike. And
Now I got to get like a bike thumbs up for when we do bike riding Brian Vaughn's sample. So I have to figure out a way to make a pro bike thing, and then biking bourbon will feel more welcome if he comes into the live. So yes, you are absolutely welcome here. So this one is called Hard Truth Sweet Mash 4 grain bourbon whiskey. Mash bill BW4, bottled in bond. Let's try this one out. It's a 4 grain. We've tended to like the 4 grain whiskeys we've had.
Well, it depends on the grains, because we've learned recently in that Jim Beam special that we did last week. In internet time, there's certain grains better than other grains.
We do need to do a blend of the three of those. You did.
I did.
Yeah, I didn't.
So for anybody who didn't see it, you found some rather old,
Yeah, dusty bottles.
dusty bottles of Jim Beam, kind of like experimental series. And there was a red wheat, which is not uncommon,
Eater.
but for them it's kind of uncommon. But then there was a oat grain and a brown rice.
Brown rice, yeah.
And they were interesting.
Yeah, I thought they were pretty interesting.
And they obviously loved them enough not to do a release of them,
Yeah.
is our guess.
I saw a Cheers, Myron. Oh, there's Bourbon Drop. Cheers. What's up, Myron?
My run.
Hard Truth Sweet Mash Bourbon is good. All right.
Hard Truth is from Indiana.
So I'm guessing maybe like a little MGP banger here.
Is in Ross and Squibb.
Oh, wow. Whew. That's got a nose on it for 100 proof.
Holy cow.
A lot of flavor on the nose.
We should compare this to that unicorn over there that people need to buy.
Oh, God. Oh, by the way, speaking of that, Myron, so Myron put out a video a while ago where he did,
Oh, okay. So this is not a Ross and Squibb MGP thing. They do their own.
and they're from Indiana.
You know what?
That's got to be a frustrating
It's gotta be-
state to be from if you're doing your own
yeah, we're
distillation.
from Indiana and we do our own.
Yeah, so it just says distilled in Indiana. Everybody's like, oh, it's MGP.
Exactly. Yeah.
So anyway, so Myron did a video that was...
Wait, hold on a minute there, Bourbon Drop. How do they know which glass I'm going to use?
So Myron did a video that was what whiskeys have you not bought because of YouTube? That were like you thought about maybe buying it, then you saw a review and you said screw it. And so he challenged the rest of the Whiskey 6 folks to do it.
Okay.
And then we got wrapped up in filming batch content for when I was on vacation. So we did that for like 2 weeks. And then I was gone for 2 weeks.
Ryan Frank is here.
Who?
Ryan Frank.
Oh, Ryan Frank, what's up?
You used to know him.
So I was going to talk to you about doing a video. The problem is there's been plenty of whiskeys that if I don't buy them, then you end up buying them, or I end up buying them, and like Brian just did one, and basically all of his are the ones I would have picked. So I'm having a hard time trying to think of bottles I didn't buy because even if they get bad reviews, half the time I'll still buy them just to do a review of them.
Yeah.
So I may have to tweak that a little bit, and then just maybe like bottles I bought against my better judgment because of YouTube and didn't like or did like, or something like that, because I don't want to repeat everyone else's bottles, but they kind of covered.
Well, I mean, we could just do a Basil Hayden flight and let you complain about each and every one of them.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see. Brian Whiskey 6 in the house. Who else distills in Indiana? Good question. Ryan Frank. Seeing the two of yous back together is like finding my favorite, best fitting pair of underwear. It's beautiful. I love it, Ryan Frank. So hold on a second. Let me. I did put some pictures of the eclipse up here in case anybody wanted to see those. I figured we'd end up talking about that at some point.
What's the eclipse?
That was kind of a big deal, in the country. Brian saw it. He went through Buffalo.
Wow, it totally skipped us. We had pretty good rain, and I should have given you the video. I did have a time lapse running out on my deck, and there were a couple times when the clouds cleared enough you could kind of see a little bit of like a
crescent.
A crescent.
Yeah, because Minnesota got like 75%. By the way, that's really good. Let's concentrate on the whiskey for a second, and then we'll. Did anybody in the comments get to see the total solar eclipse? I would love to hear if you got to. A review of crappy whiskey is more entertaining. Still, remember Bobby smashing that bottle with his axe. Yeah. Bear Hollow also distills their own, and I believe Hotel Tango. I thought Hotel Tango
Is that these guys?
was originally.
It is.
Yeah, I think they were getting this from Cascade Hollow or something like that.
Well, he said Bear Hollow.
But not Cascade Hollow. I could be wrong about that, but I think Hotel Tango has done a few bottles with a few different distilleries. They may be doing their own now.
Okay.
I bought this one a couple years ago. Distilled by Middle West, Columbus, Ohio. So this one that I have, the bourbon ready to drink, from a few years ago, is distilled by Middle West, which is a brand. Speaking of being on vacation,
90% is Southeast Wisconsin.
Nice. Anybody see Totality?
Oh.
Yes,
Okay.
Dave. Oh yes, drove to Indy. It was awesome. Jeff Castle, that's awesome. I'm glad you got to see
Hold
that.
on a minute. Jeff, that's the first time anybody's ever liked visiting Indiana. Sorry, I've never been there. I've never actually been to the state.
Well, they had an eclipse, so
that's one of the few states I've never been to. I've been all to the south and all to the west, and
it doesn't look a whole lot different than Minnesota. Let's see, we got about 88% eclipse. The earthquake was more fun for us, about 15 miles from me. Yeah, Sugar Kitty, that's crazy.
Yeah. Jersey earthquake, that's rare.
Did they purchase some from either distilleries, but they do some of their own, I believe. Okay.
Cool.
Jill's coming in with the information. By the way,
maybe you should
let's drop some links to the channels that are in the chat. Mediocre Whiskey Review, Bourbon Drop, Bourbon School. Who else is here?
Okay, so we have, or at least we used to have, the Dickel Tabasco Blind
against C923. I think we'll be able to tell which one is which. Where the hell is that now?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think I still...
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's down here.
Okay.
Maybe we'll have to incorporate the Dickel Tabasco tonight. Indiana was great in the darkness of the eclipse. That's awesome.
So Jill, you're in Indiana. That's why she knows so much about MGP and everybody who's not MGP.
Is Jill in Indiana?
Well, she said that's where I live, and that's the last date we talked about.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you live in southeast Wisconsin because it was a reference, but...
Look at these beautiful fellas. Sean coming in with the love.
Wow. How's it going, bud?
It's good to see you. So yeah, was there cloud cover in Indiana where you guys were? And so I got to see the totality on vacation.
You mentioned that.
And it was a crazy experience. So I'm kind of wondering if other people thought it was as cool as I did. And it sounds like most people
So
do.
what I'm curious, though, is like...
I am not from Sacramento.
No, yeah, I know. So the sun's obviously way far away and the moon is closer.
Yeah.
Right? But you're on a boat. So did it keep moving or something?
No, it did not. It was nice and still and calm. Troy from Baker Drinks is here.
Troy.
Still at work out here on the Best Coast, and no, not Sacramento. Just wanted to say hi to everyone. Trash Pallets Unite. Yes, I love that. Trash Pallets Unite. Team Creamy and Trash. It's going to be Team Creamy versus the Trash Pallets. All the whiskey tubes are going to divide up and create baseball teams. The Team Creamy and the Trash Pallets. Or that could be that sounds like a band name. Team Creamy and the Trash Pallets.
No, I think it's just trash pallets. That's too much.
That's true. Was the Trash Pallets something we talked about on here that we were like the...
I don't recognize that reference.
What was the one where we came up with somebody came up with the band name? We said something, and it was like a hippie thing or something.
Yeah.
It was a band. I don't know. We'll have to go do this tomorrow. Rewatch all of our live streams until you get that reference.
That's a good idea. I remember one when we were upstairs, but it was quite a while ago in the other studio. We had a really good band name reference. thing.
And we were gonna do something with it.
Maybe it was about when we did like the sheep dung one or one of those Steve Joe.
Yeah, it could have been.
Flights, one of those.
It might be
Smelly Hippies. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
something
it was
about
something
hippies.
like that. Yeah. Thank you, Mike. Just out of habit, I just nosed my water. I'm literally just sitting here like this. What a moron I am. Okay, so let's get into.
Oh, hold on. We've now had 2 whiskeys, right?
Yeah.
But we've only talked about peanut butter, crunchy versus smooth, and you lost that one. So now it's your turn.
We've got new people in the chat now. Crunchy peanut butter or smooth peanut butter?
Well, okay,
Troy's here, Myron's here,
yeah,
Sean's
certainly,
here.
Yeah, ask new people.
Biking Bourbon's here. I don't think Jill weighed in on that. Oh, she did actually. She was Team Creamy as well.
Yep. But then it's time for you to present some conversation related to snack food, junk food, your best cruise ship dessert, if you want to go there.
I had good desserts, but nothing wild. But I will tell you, I had a couple of life-changing hot dogs in Vegas.
That's what she said.
There's this place where we stayed called the Hot Doggery.
What do they serve?
They do crazy hot dogs. So one of them that I had was, and it's like a really good hot dog. They take the hot dog, they wrap it in bacon, they deep fry it.
Okay.
They don't even have to deep fry it. They just do it, I think, just to make it extra offensive. So it's a bacon-wrapped hot dog with molten cheese on it and then a fried egg on top of it in like a toasted bun. Unbelievable. Called the brunch dog. And then I had another one. It was a mac and cheese dog. And they had also, I don't know if it was bacon wrapped in the hot dog, and then they covered it in mac and cheese. And then it had bacon bits and then crushed up flaming hot Cheetos. It was life-changing. So if you're ever in Vegas, it's right between the Link and the Flamingo. It's the hot doggery was the name of Ben's dorm room. If only I had gone to college. You can tell, you know. Dustin Burgermeister, please tell me that's your real name. Thanks for all you do. Thanks for all you do, me boys. Review Evan Williams Single Barrel, pretty dang tasty. Actually, Evan Williams Single Barrel was one of the first reviews we ever released. It was like one of the first 5, like 3 years ago.
It's been a consistent favorite of ours. It's lower proof, but we really like the Evan Williams ones because they're available, except for Single Barrels kind of disappeared.
But, so here's my question. I wonder if Dustin is in Minnesota because I saw a post today that they showed up in Minnesota recently as like a pick or something.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was a pick.
Yeah, but they're like 30-some bucks now. Yeah. So I'd like to go, I haven't had one in so long, I'd like to go back.
86.6 proof.
The 0.6 is clutch on that. So anyway, welcome Dustin Burgermeister. That Burgermeister is a great last name. Please tell me that's real. I love it.
He's a vegetarian.
Carver, Minnesota representing. I'm in Carver quite often. I thought they were distillery exclusive now. Yeah, they are, so I don't know how they...
Yeah, but this seemed to be, like, it was a store pick, I think, from somewhere, like, I don't know, one of our local...
Cub did it, yeah.
Maybe it was, yeah.
And I don't know if it's like an official store pick or if they just got a hold of it. Sure. But it's like a 9-year. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Impossible to say, Ben. Impossible to say.
Impossible. EW was Kentucky exclusive until this year. Oh, so now is it coming back? Because when we first started the channel...
It was totally available.
Yeah, and it was usually like $25. I remember I got it at Liquor Boy for $16.99. Yeah. I snagged like three different barrels, too.
Right.
And so I had a whole bunch of them on the shelf. Excuse me, and then they went to distillery only, and so now maybe they're back to normal. And yes, that's really my name. That is awesome. I love it. Oh, it's Burgermeister. I'm sorry, our monitor's a lot. I thought it was Burgermeister.
Oh.
And I was like, Burgermeister, please tell me like you're at the grill with an apron that says Burgermeister. So Burgermeister. Okay, still a cool last name. I like it.
Okay.
And from Carver. Like I said, I'm in Carver like 5 times a month.
Yeah, that's a cool place.
They had an overrun, not a store pick. Okay, sweet.
Cool.
You gotta love this. It's actually not the hot doggery. It's
hot.
Pretentiously called the hot doggery. Tires fell from. Yeah, it is. It's HAUTE. But it's amazing. It's so good. Sugar Kitty, did you look that up? Or
no,
is that just another thing that like he's been there, he's on top of it, he can tell me all about it. I love it.
Yeah. All right, are we doing more whiskey or?
Yeah. Hatfield Barbecue is here. Hatfield, one of these days we will get a hold of 10,000 drops. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to drive down to Faribault and go to their tasting room. There's a 10,000 drops is a bourbon that Hatfield Barbecue really wants us to try.
Okay.
And I think he said in one of the recent comments that they have like a weeder that's really good.
Oh, wow.
The bottles are like $50, so I just haven't been sold enough to buy one. But they have store picks too. It's a Minnesota thing, Faribault, Minnesota. Wow. And so one of these weekends, I'll just drive down there and go to their tasting room and try like whatever they have. Huh. Okay, so this one here is River Roots Barrel Company, The Guardian. It's a 9-year bourbon, 114.79 proof.
9 year. It's awfully light colored. It's medium amber. It's not bad looking, but 9 year I would expect maybe a tad more oak.
It's medium amber, preferable to large amber or small amber. How do you like your ambers, Greg?
I don't know if I know an amber.
Let's see, which is actually pronounced oat. The link used to be the Imperial Rat Palace, but people know. Yes, I do remember when that was the Imperial Palace.
What is the Imperial Palace?
It was a hotel on the Vegas Strip that is now the Link.
Oh. Okay.
You never want a large amber. I don't know, maybe sometimes. Teach their own. We love all ambers here. They have a 4-year single barrel weeder. They release one barrel at a time. The current barrel is 107 proof. He's talking about 10,000 drops. Okay, sweet.
Oh, is that like a play on 10,000 Lakes?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, they weren't that clever if I figured it out in like 2 minutes. You're going to have to try harder next time, do it.
I think it was meant to be obvious. I think you were supposed to figure that out. Kind of a tip of the cap to Minnesota. Maybe they did the thing that the Minnesota Wild did with the ice, where they had people send in samples of lake water. And so the ice on the Minnesota Wild rink, they made of like just thousands of samples of just different lakes all over the state. So they were all...
Do you think all of those were samples of water?
They might not have been. Who knows? Somebody threw some curveballs in there, I'm sure. Let's see. Their tasting room is super cool. Awesome bottle too. I will give you that. The bottle is cool. This is really good. River Roots Barrel Company. I've never heard of them. 9 years old. Bourbon whiskey, 114 proof. That's really good.
Well, it's got a nice approach.
It's a little different. It's a little off like standard profile, but
It's
in a good way. It's
cinnamon,
kinda...
but it's not. Well, yeah, it's kind of staying in the cinnamon wheelhouse.
Yeah, I like that quite well. I wonder where these guys are from. I'm sure somebody can... No, I must have lost my earpiece.
Do we know anything? Like, is it like mash bill wise? It has a
no.
quality that I'm having a hard time. Like, I almost would guess it's a wheater, but it's not exactly the right taste for a wheater. It's just, there's something about this that's a tad different, and I really like it. It's noticeably not your standard down the middle bourbon.
Yeah, it's got like a unique... It's kind of got its own thing going on here, but in a really good way. Getting a little cherry, like sometimes on bourbons, not all the time, but sometimes I'll get like almost like a cherry Kool-Aid or like a cherry Mr. Freezy, you know, the freeze pops that come in the tubes. Like that kind of, the red one, the cherry one.
Well, yeah, thank you for that.
I don't know if they're actually called cherry flavors, it's red flavored, you know what I mean, when it comes to those things.
I think you're right.
So, yeah, that's like I almost get kind of that sort of a note on the finish. I'm in Holland, Michigan right now. Has anyone had Dragon's Milk? I was just going to say, thank God it's bourbon, because I don't know where you're going with that. Dragon's Milk Bourbon. I'm really digging the double barrel triple mash beer coming in at 19.1. I've never had Dragon's Milk before. Well, not the I've had Dragon's Milk from an actual
Where's
dragon.
the beer one?
I like beer.
There we go.
I drink American beer.
It took a second, but we got there.
That's what
not
she
the right-
said.
Large Amber, what did I drop into? Maybe you're dropping into a... Never mind, I'm not going to say. As a fellow Minnesotan, what are your thoughts on the infamous tater tot hot dish?
Oh, that's a dish.
Well, you're not a native Minnesotan, so you didn't grow up with this stuff. Have you ever even had tater tot hot dish?
Tons of times. In fact, I'm an
suppose living
aficionado.
here-
Well,
But Leah's a Minnesotan.
she is. Well,
Yeah.
she was actually born in Arizona, but grew up mostly in
Yeah,
Minnesota.
I was born in Pennsylvania.
But yeah, we make a number of casseroles. I love tater tots. They're one of my favorite ingredients / foods.
Listen to this non-Minnesotan with casserole.
Oh, that's what the rest of the country calls them.
I know. Hot dishes.
Yeah.
Hot dish and duck, duck, gray duck. That's how we roll here.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm a big fan.
I like it, but I don't love it. Like, to me, it's just kind of boring.
Okay, so it depends on what you do. Like, if start with tater tots, and then you can do pizza ingredients and make a pizza hot dish. If you do some sort of traditional one, maybe I've never had that. But
Yeah,
I've
I've only had the traditional one. I think that's what...
So we mostly do buffalo chicken tater tot hot dish.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole different...
Oh, okay. So yeah.
Yeah, that's not Minnesotan.
Okay.
I like, if I... Prison slap. Okay, sorry, I couldn't remember if it said. Oh, slop. It's hot dish. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This guy right here. Minnesotans also call an ice shanty a fish house. Yeah, that's the one thing I've noticed. Like, I've seen videos about. Anyway, so tater tot hot dish. Yeah, it's okay. Most people love it. I'm kind of like 50-50. I like it, but it's not something that I go wild over. Anyway. Do they actually call them ice shanties in other parts of the country? Because every time I see videos on, like, you know, things about Minnesota, because every once in a while I'll watch something like where somebody will do a video about Minnesota that's not from here. It's kind of an interesting point of view. They always talk about ice fishing. And they always say, and Minnesotans will go out to these little shacks called ice shanties. I'm like, nobody in Minnesota in the history has ever called it an ice shanty.
I don't think I've ever heard that.
Yeah,
I probably
it's
have heard it a
so
time or two.
dumb.
I have heard ice house, which actually is not accurate because it's not made out of ice, but it's also not made out of fish.
We always just call it the fish house.
It's a fish house.
Yep. Aiden is here. Aiden, fellow Minnesota. He says WTF is an ice shanty. Yeah, exactly. We don't roll that way here. All right, so fish house, hot dish, duck, gray duck, pop.
And creamy peanut butter.
Well, not me. I'm Team Nutty.
Yes, you are, man.
Team
Yes, you
Chunky.
are. Mike's here. The other Mike.
Mike Meyer is here. What's happening, Mike? Good to see you. What other Minnesota-isms am I missing here? Do you guys in other parts of the country have the Minnesota goodbye, but your version of it? Where I hope my parents are watching right now because it's become an ongoing joke in our family about the Minnesota goodbye when we leave their house. But it's a Midwest thing, really.
I would think this is probably, and I don't subscribe to this one, but
Where here in Minnesota and in the greater Midwest, when you say, okay, well, I've got to go, the first time you say it means nothing. The conversation may have just begun at that point. You say, all right, well, you know what? I better go.
And
hey, by the way, how is Jan doing? And then it's a whole nother conversation.
Sure.
And then that moves. Eventually you say, okay, well, I'm going to get going. And then you
So now you go put your shoes on.
Yep, you put your shoes on, you stand at the door, and then another full conversation ensues. Okay?
Yeah.
And then when that one's done, you start putting your hand on the doorknob, right? And sometimes it's the person leaving who's doing it. So it's not just, and then it's really 50-50 who's the victim in the Minnesota goodbye. But then you go outside, and oftentimes it will progress until it gets to your car. Hey, Bobby is here.
Bobby.
Booyah!
I'm big on saying goodbye and leaving. Hate the Minnesota goodbye.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Hatfield here. Like, when it's time to go, it's time to go. And no offense, it's time to go.
Yeah. There's so many jokes about being nutty, but I'll keep it to myself. Okay, gotcha. One other thing, when the comments, so the way we're looking at the screen right now, you know how the comments scroll up, when they're at the top, I can't read them well because the reflection of the light that's on Greg is reflecting in the TV. It's nothing you can do is going to fix it.
Oh.
Actually, I think that did. The only reason I don't eat crunchy peanut butter, I ate PB&J as a kid and lost a tooth while eating it, ended up chewing on a tooth. That's nasty.
Whose tooth did you chew on?
Whose tooth was it? What's happening, Bobby? It's good to see you in here. I think this video could be a write-off. Yeah, did you see the short that I put up?
No.
Oh, it's pretty good. It's pretty hilarious. It's from Schitt's Creek, the show.
Which I've never seen.
That's the one that Leah and I agreed would probably not be your jam, but it's a hilarious show. Yeah. It's funny if you give it a chance. A New York goodbye is when you get a door slammed in your face. A Pennsylvania goodbye is when you get a boot up the butt. A Jersey goodbye is when you take their cannoli. Nice. I think I'll take the Minnesota goodbye of any, out of any of those.
All right, see you. We're gone.
So, speaking of all these people that are in the chat right now.
Yeah, there was a question you were going to ask for. I forget what it was though.
Well, I was going to throw the. Where are my overlays? Here we go. Bam! Look at that. Let's throw a little plug for the Whiskey 6 up here. Oh, by the way, since you guys are all in the chat, I will try to make the call tonight. We have a Zoom meeting set up. So I'll try to make that, but I'll probably be late. So just a little behind the scenes. Got to prep for next week's show. And next week's show is taking place on the Whiskey 6. So if you're not subscribed to @the Whiskey 6, if you just search for it exactly as it is on the screen.
Yeah.
Search for it just like that on YouTube. It'll come up. If you just search the Whiskey 6, a bunch of other stuff comes up because the channel's not big enough yet.
Steve, that's a funny joke.
California goodbye is moving to Texas. Hell yeah.
So Steve, we moved to Coeur d'Alene, bet that was 30 years ago.
Hatfield Barbecue said, well, I suppose that is exactly how Minnesotans initiate the first phase of goodbyes. My mother said that to me today and then told me all about pork chops she made last night. She said she was going to maybe watch. So hi, Mom. Hi, Dad, if you're watching. So anyway, yeah, go check out, search at The Whiskey 6 on YouTube, subscribe. It's Bourbon Note. It's usually just me. I don't know if you're going to pop in on one.
Oh, yeah, it's you from our channel, because this is kind of Ben's thing with his friends.
Well, it gets a little bit late.
Yeah.
But they're your friends, too.
Yeah.
Or Greg just said he's not friends with any of you.
Well, I've seen some of them.
So anyway, it's Bourbon Note, Bad Axe Bourbon, Bourbon School, Bourbon Drop, Whiskey Wars, and then we usually have a rotating guest. This week it's Steven from Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans. So that'll be fun.
And he will be sitting on a bar stool and rotating for the entire episode.
Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what it's going to be. So please go search that and subscribe to it. We're trying to get something going. It's a once-a-month thing. And we talk a little bit about bourbon.
How often do you do that once-a-month thing?
Yeah, just once every month, about every 30 days or so.
Okay.
Talk a little bit about bourbon at the beginning, but then we kind of get into a bunch of different topics and like non-bourbon related. We come up with like questions to ask each other.
You better not even approach junk food, because that's our thing.
That's our thing.
That is our thing.
If I talk about junk food with anybody else, Greg will be standing at his window in the rain with a single tear rolling down. Had to step away a second. Cheers, Bobby, Myron, Jan, Aiden, and all you beautiful whiskey people. Well, right back at you, Sean. Okay, so this one is it, what we just poured?
Master Pickle, because we've not talked
Oh yeah,
about that
this
one
is
yet.
the aged 15-year American whiskey.
This better not have pickle juice in it, because I despise pickles.
I don't like pickles either. So there's 22 people in the chat now versus the 12 that were in here before.
Okay.
So if you're in the chat, please throw something in the comments here. Creamy peanut butter or chunky peanut butter? Let's hear your thoughts. Because so far, I'm team chunky peanut butter. I'm team chunky. Greg is team creamy. And I just got back from a 12-day vacation.
Yeah.
Or a 14-day vacation, partially on a cruise. I am team chunky at this point. I am Benny Buttertits. Just gone off the rails. Anyway, this whiskey smells delightful.
It's really good. No, John.
Skippy Super Chunk.
No, John. Not even close.
Team Creamy. Oh, Steve Joes is Team Chunky. Okay, we might have to keep a scoreboard here. Go back in the comments and look.
You and one other.
Because you had like 6 people. Now I've got like 2.
Yeah, Team
John Kranz, you don't like pickles. Couple of communists.
Yeah, Aiden. Yeah, we know your dysfunction with eating.
Team Creamy. This tastes like white whiskey. Light whiskey. I promise I'm not inebriated.
No, Aiden, no.
Peanut butter pickle sandwiches go hard. No way. That sounds horrible.
Maybe peanut butter and marshmallow sandwiches.
Is there somebody walking upstairs? No, my wife probably just got home.
Either your elephant just got out.
Something is like, every time somebody walks upstairs, it's so loud down here. I wonder if that transfers through the thing. Dennis Weidman is here. What's happening? Did I turn into a Food Network by accident? Well, if you watch these live streams regularly, you'll know that they always go off the rails into a junk food or some sort of tangent. So tonight it's, Whiskey Wars is Team Cream as well. Team Cream has a nice ring to it.
No.
On the first day of peanut butter vacation, my true love gave me chunks. Sugar Kitty with the best roundabout way of coming up with that. Google peanut butter pickle sandwich. I believe you that it's a real thing.
Unfortunately, it's probably more real than we would like to admit.
Please, nobody say creamy goes hard. I think you just did, John Kranz.
That was Bobby.
It was Bobby. Okay, John Kranz was the next comment. Team Creamy is probably available. We were saying we were going to start maybe sponsor a baseball team called Team Creamy. Or if we're ever on like a trivia situation or something where like we're a team, we're Team Creamy. Team Cream.
Unfortunately, I'm busy that night.
So this is probably a good segue to get into this. I was going to build a glory hole. Hear me out. For us, for the channel. So
Unfortunately, I'm also busy that night.
Oh, this is going to be a reoccurring thing. It's going to be a box. It's going to be the bourbon glory hole. And we're going to start putting samples in there. And we just go through the glory hole. Because, and then you pick a sample. And then we drink it and taste it blind. And then at the end, we give our thoughts. At the end, we reveal what it is.
All right, Mike.
It's kind of like, like Bourbon School. They've got the mystery box. And like ADHD Whiskey does the 1 ounce Wednesday where it's a blind sample. We'll have the bourbon glory hole.
That's good thinking there, Ben.
Yeah, stay tuned.
All right, Mikey, I am curious, what are beaver nuggets? Because I don't have any idea what that is, and maybe I'm a tad naive, but...
Do me a favor, do a Google image search for that and see what comes up.
Yeah, I suspect that's a really bad idea.
Beaver nuggets means something else in the Midwest. So does moose knuckle. Like there's another meaning for that. Not a good enough reason to say glory hole. I think it is. Glory hole makes me think of the movie Porky's. Yeah, the shower. The classic. All right, so this tastes like light whiskey.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you.
Very kind of honey forward American light whiskey. Mm-hmm. I wonder if it's a blend of something.
So it's 15 years, but it's whiskey. It's not technically bourbon.
It says American whiskey, yeah. So it could be. And I've got a 14-year light whiskey that tastes very similar to this. Bit of a higher proof, but let's see. On the second day of creamy and chunks. Too creamy. Jesus. This is going off the rails quick. Did anyone see Ben and Greg dive the glory hole last night?
No.
See?
Yeah, so John, it would be a Ben thing. Yeah, this would be the segment that is Ben solo.
Is this a glory hole doesn't work unless there's two people. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I know the mystery box, and I don't know. I think you're trying to make a double entendre.
But do you not know what a glory hole is?
I have a vague idea, and I don't think it makes any sense. So.
Well, because there's a hole, and there's a treat on the other side of it. But in this case, the treat is just harmless bourbon. It's not shame and despair and whatever else comes with it. Anyway, let's move on. Is this going to be a Patreon-only thing, you think? Like, you're not participating in this at all?
That may be your other channel.
I will be starting it's going to be at the Bourbon Glory Hole.
Oh, unfortunately, I don't want to go there.
So anyway, go to the At the Whiskey 6. Those shows tend to get even worse than these. 3 glory holes, 2 creamy and chunks. Sugar Kitty's just gonna have a whole series for the whole song of peanut butter related 12 Days of Christmas content. Okay, let's do a small pour of this because it's 133 proof. But I'm really looking forward to trying this, and then we'll get out of here.
How long until we go live?
I don't know. Oh, damn, we've been live this whole time. Talking about beaver nuggets and glory holes. So, Kings County Distillery, as I said at the beginning.
It's in New York.
New York. They're kind of famous, at least around here, the bottles we see from them are those ones that look like medicine bottles, like old style. They're kind of short. You ever see them? They just have a simple white label, just like a typewriter, Kings County, and they tend to be a little expensive as well. So that's why I haven't gotten one, but I've seen some pretty favorable reviews of their stuff, and so I'm looking forward to trying this. The Bourbon Glory Hole. Google it, Bobby. All right. By the way, Bobby is going to be at like 85,000 subscribers by next week. He's killing it. So, Bobby, congratulations.
Well, he works harder than the
Did you
average
do
bear.
a 6,000 live stream, or is that the 5,000 live stream?
Well, they don't count if you don't recognize them, celebrate them.
Right, which that means none of ours because we've never actually done a...
No, we did 100.
We did. We did a brief video for the 100 subscriber. We should probably start doing things like giveaways and things that all the other cool bourbon channels do.
Well, we've been busy for the last
3 years.
Yeah.
We're just so damn lazy. We throw these together. We don't really plan on doing anything. Does Glory Hole also have an only in Minnesota? Nope, that is a worldwide phenomenon. I've heard of beaver mustard. You don't want to know what they have to squeeze. Jesus. It's just getting worse and worse.
Some of you people.
Some people's kids.
That's right. I don't know. I can't read any of these, so I'm just going to press a button.
What the hell? Are you drunk?
No, I am not, but I do have a small sample of 133 proof bourbon. Incidentally, at that high of a proof, I'm not getting that on the nose.
I'm getting like a lot of the
Very
dark,
flavorful,
dark
but it's
cherry,
not- yeah.
kind of like the mature density kind of stuff.
Dark flavors, but there is I'm not getting a ton of the ethanol. Like you can really kind of get your nose into this one.
That's what she said.
But I am getting a craft bourbon note off of this.
So yes, we do talk occasionally about Pringles because
Did you do the Pringles report yet? No report to be had. Pringles still has not re-released the Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich
but
Pringles.
they do have a new flavor. It's not that new. The buffalo, like the blazing hot buffalo or whatever.
I don't care what it is.
Have you?
I'm
but
ride
have
or
you-
die Wendy's
Well,
spicy
yeah,
chicken
I get
sandwich
that
Pringles.
that's your favorite. But have you had the blazing buffalo one or whatever? I don't care for hot foods,
Ooh!
and that Pringle is too hot to eat.
Really? Okay.
Like
Challenge accepted. Is this the one that you said a long time ago that I needed to pair it with Evan Williams Single Barrel?
No.
I think you put something on Instagram. Go to the Bourbon Note on Instagram and scroll way back to back when it was just Greg's account. There is something you put a post
no,
up.
yeah, I did a. Oh, that
It was like a hot, or was it barbecue?
It was just barbecue.
Barbecue,
and
that's
that
what
was
it was,
great.
okay.
Yeah, that was great. But any bourbon and barbecue was great. But yeah, the blazing hot buffalo is crazy hot.
Let's see. Madge. Maroon? Sorry, our monitor is a little far away. Real ones remember the Monterey Ranch chicken sandwiches they used to have. I don't know if I ever had that, but Pringles for a while was making the Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich.
Taco truck Pringles
So
are
good.
really good, but just a
Bit too salty. I've never seen those before.
yeah, I've never even heard of those. I mean, obviously taco trucks.
Mikey likey whiskey. We really opened up a can of worms here, didn't we?
No, we did not. I'm gonna blame you for this one.
We got into Pandora's box tonight.
This is really good, by the way. This is borderline, super high quality, luxury bourbon. It's probably crazy expensive.
I kind of disagree. I think that it's got a. I like it. It definitely has a great like viscosity and mouthfeel to it, so it's kind of got that premium bourbon vibe. The proof works really well for it, but I feel like this is one at a lower proof I would not like because it reminds me of some of the craftier bourbons we've had. It almost reminds me a little bit of that Heaven Hill or Heaven's Door Homesick Blues that we didn't like.
Yeah.
So maybe just a higher proof
Saves it.
saves it. But
I
it
would
almost
say-
has like some of the same notes, but they work better in this one.
So they work better, but the one thing missing on this is a real interesting finish. It does have a long finish, but it kind of becomes a little one note.
I would agree with you on that. Yeah.
So
It's still good though. Depending on what the price is, would I go out and buy a bottle? I don't know.
well, it's impossible to say. We don't know the
It's
price or
impossible to
availability.
find out what the price of this is. So, well, it's kind of a bummer. Dave didn't show up in the chat for this one, but
Such a
hopefully
bummer.
he watches this.
You know, he was actually out, training on a tricycle.
Does he ride tri? So it's not just wheeled
Well,
pedal devices.
He's
It's bikes
working,
in particular.
He's working his way up.
that he has a particular
Yeah, he's
disdain for.
Working his way up. Like ever since the incident, he's not even been able to look at a bicycle.
Ever since the incident. Let's see. I bought Buffalo Pringles hoping they were spicy, and they weren't. Okay, so
Who said that?
Aiden.
Oh. Put your
Fourth day of
shirt
peanut
on.
butter vacation. My true love gave to me 4 beaver nuggies, 3 glory holes, 2 cream eatons, and chunks. I love it. Hey, before we go, so anyway, I asked people before if they got to see the solar eclipse. I did go see it. I went on a vacation. I got to see it from a cruise ship, so I thought I'd share some pictures. If anybody's interested in that, this may be stupid, but I thought it'd be a cool topic to talk about because it was such a big deal around the country.
It was?
Yeah, everybody's been talking about it.
Okay.
So let me know if you guys want to see my eclipse pictures. I won't force them on you if you don't want to, but I have them right here.
But somebody in the chat is drinking a Schlitz, which is only a Milwaukee thing. They don't actually...
Is it a Schlitz Blue Bull?
Well, I don't
That's
know.
the real
I
deal.
thought Schlitz malt liquor was only available in Wisconsin.
On the 5th day of peanut butter vacation, my true love gave to me 5 Rolling Rocks, 4 Beaver Nuggies, 3 Glory Holes, 2 Creamy Blanks, and Chunks. I love where this is going. This is going to be a whole festive thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at that. Bobby with the super chat.
Thank you, Bobby.
Let's see. To go towards the ing your wives, you're remarking money, talking about I like it. I like it a lot. Thank you, Bobby. I can be like, hey, we get super chats. That's
right.
It's a write-off. The regular Schlitz beer, not the malt liquor. Okay. The Schlitz Blue Bowl has a special place in my heart.
You know, I have no idea what the difference is between a beer and a malt liquor.
It's probably just like, beer is like barley and sometimes rice or whatever, and then malt liquor is malt, like kind of like Scotch is or whatever.
Oh, maybe that's it. It's the mash bill. The mash. They call that beer, actually, you know?
Yeah, they do. Bobby might be drunk.
If so, someone give him another drink.
And for God's sake, somebody go take that axe out of his hands. Super chat. Amazing. All right. So before we get out of here, okay, I am going to force my eclipse pictures on you guys.
yeah.
I want to get your opinions on these. Okay, so this first one is, I put just like a solar filter on the thing, so I was able to get kind of a cool picture of the crescent sun. Let me get the comment off of the screen.
I don't mean to complain, but you were a tad early with this one.
I've got one of totality here. So that was the kind of crescent sun. And then, so I'm assuming, and I want you guys' opinion on this, they said there was going to be a comet visible, and you couldn't see it with the naked eye, and you couldn't see it with your glasses on. I think my camera picked it up, because that's actually a picture I took.
I think that's
with the
lens
solar
flare.
filter on.
I think that's lens flare.
It'd be a weird lens flare, though, to just bend like that when nothing else is bending on the, like the beams from the sun aren't bending.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? Do you think I caught it was called the Devil's Comet.
Right.
And they said it was going to be visible
Right.
during the eclipse. So, I don't know.
All right, go to your coup de grace, the final picture.
Let's see, hold on a second. Nope, at work, unfortunately. Way less fun. with the axe, no less. Okay, so here's the picture I got of totality. This one actually did turn out pretty cool. I actually got this with the camera that we film our videos with. So that turned out pretty cool.
It does look pretty good.
Yeah, and I turned a video on, and I just let it, because I couldn't really see it, and I didn't want to sit and screw around with cameras. I wanted to just sit and enjoy it. Mm-hmm. And just getting that picture was total luck. So, happy about that one.
That's awesome.
And then here's just a picture of the, this was from the cruise ship.
The people in the dark.
Yeah. At totality, which was like 11:30 in the morning or something like that.
Wow.
So yeah, it was pretty cool. So for all the rest of you that got to experience it, that's pretty awesome. You got it, the Devil's Comet. Okay, so I hope that's what it was. I'll give you credit on the comment. All right. But tomorrow it's on. Okay, so apparently Bobby is going live tomorrow. Please hold 1 second.
What are we waiting on?
Oh, entertain the internet for a second.
Well, the internet's already entertaining enough. Just search funny goats and you'll be entertained for hours.
Maybe we'll come up if they search funny goats.
Funny goats.
Oh, hang on. I got a text from Steve Joe's. Oh, beaver nuggets are actually a thing. From Buc-ee's, the famous gigantic truck stop.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah. All right.
Well, it's not that famous if I've never heard of it.
Is there only one Buc-ee's? I know they're talking about building another one, but is that...
Where's the one?
It's in Texas.
Oh.
It's supposed to be like this massive truck stop sort of thing, but it's like... It's kind of like Wall Drug. It's like famous for... It's not to the level of Wall Drug, but it's like this massive Walmart Supercenter times 3 or some shit. I don't know. It's... I've never been there before. Kurt Crayfall, hello from Rice, Minnesota. Well, what's happening? Welcome. We always love getting more Minnesotans in here. I'm going to be driving through Rice next Monday on my way to Little Falls.
I have no idea where Rice is.
It's on the way to Little Falls.
I have no idea where Little Falls is.
It's on the way to Baxter, Brainerd.
Brainerd. Okay, that one I think I know.
Yep. All right, so what else do we got here before we wrap it up? Most cell phone photos didn't come out. That's nice. Good one. Thank you. Wisconsin. Did somebody say something about Wisconsin?
Yeah, I made a reference earlier.
Oh, you did? Okay. They have one in VA too. Oh, okay, so they do have a Buc-ee's somewhere else.
6
okay.
Buc-ee's.
One near Madison, Wisconsin. They don't allow big trucks. Oh, I thought it was a truck stop. Kind of like a Love's. You ever been to like a Love's truck stop?
Yeah, Love's and Pilots are...
Yeah, I thought it was
nationwide.
kind of... they have like the... Sometimes they have like... Or especially off of like a turnpike, they'll have like the travel plazas.
Yeah.
I kind of thought it was something like that, but maybe it's...
I don't know.
I guess fact-finding mission. Going to have to go to Texas.
You're going to
the
have to go,
giant,
You can go to Wall Drug.
Buc-ee's.
I mean, that's kind of a cool place to visit for like an hour.
Mediocre Whiskey. Jill says if anyone is interested, I'm doing a live on Monday at 6 p.m. Indiana time. Sorry for the self-promotion. No, hell no.
Well,
Promote
wait a minute.
yourself
Well,
all you want.
I don't mean to be critical, but I have absolutely no idea what Indiana time means. Are you East Coast?
They're 1
West
hour
Coast,
ahead. Yeah, once you get past the
North Coast?
Illinois
I have no
border,
idea
I
where
think.
Indiana is or what time it would be.
You're Eastern time, right, Jill?
It's borderline.
So can we get, before we get out of here, let's take just a couple minutes. There are 48 Buc-ee's? Okay, that's got to be just the main one. That's the famous one that everybody... But let's get some mods. Let's get a mod to drop a link for Mediocre Whiskey Review. Go over there, like, comment, subscribe. We got Bad Axe Bourbon here. We got Bourbon School here. We've got
My
Bourbon
Bourbon Drop.
Who am I missing?
Troy.
From Baker Drinks. Yeah, so go check out all these channels.
Sean from Whiskey Wars.
And so that's this coming Monday. Mediocre Whiskey Review will be live. And I believe you're Eastern time. Snivy Snurdly coming in late.
That's what she said.
Just about to get out of here. All those links already done earlier. Okay, awesome. So scroll back in the chat and get the link. If nothing else, search Mediocre Whiskey Review, and we'll try to check out the chat on Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. All right, well, we are going to get out of here, so thank you very much for all of you that joined us tonight. It's a lot of fun. It's good to be back. It's been a month since the two of us have done a live stream actually together, our normal kind of live stream schedule. So anyway, we will probably see you next week, I'm assuming. And next week is also the Whiskey 6. So go search at the Whiskey 6, the number 6, on YouTube. Subscribe to that. And check that one out. And we will see you next week. And then tomorrow we've got our review of Traveler Whiskey. Here are our thoughts. We may have loved it. We may have hated it. Who knows?
You'll see tomorrow. Until next time.